Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here at finals. How are we feeling?
I am so excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about this. I can't even believe it. This was such a beautiful match to watch. Like, people, like, with the RNG going in both of these players' ways, people are going to call this to a rig. I don't know what else to say. But I'm excited. We have one of our own members in finals. But not only that, we have two mirrors in. Like, we have a mirror in finals. We have two floats going up against each other. One of them has a teapot. The other one has a tiny mouse. I'm very excited to see who comes out on top because both of these teams look really strong.
Yeah, just like a Cinderella story, a teapot and a mouse, meaning, oh wait, no, that's Beauty and the Beast that I just realized. Well, you know, it's a little Disney, all of it. So let's see if who is able to bring this to a happy ending as well for them, because both these players have gotten here after 126 other players have been felled. These two are the final ones to go up against each other. Sela from Alpensee and Ogrevgc. We've talked already quite a bit about Sela's team with Aerodactyl. It is the New Balance. Like there you have two fake counters. You have your redirector being the Sinistra. You have your Calm Minding Fairy type. You have Tailwind, and you of course have a King Gambit.
Man, I really miss Raging Bolt right now. This tiny little fairy. This tiny little fairy is doing a great job at keeping up with the meta. I mean, the Pokemon is just very strong.
Yeah.
It's like the fairy aura boosted almost the stats of a Fluttermane. This is just like an insanely strong Pokemon. But here we see a Sinistra. Like the big differences between the team are basically the Mousehold, the Sinistra, the Sneasler, and the Basculegion. No, wait, not the best. The King Gambit actually.
King Gambit.
So now it really comes down to what of these Pokemon are gonna be able to outposition your opponent, right? I do think we're gonna definitely see the Basculegion because it just does so much damage. No, wait, which one? Incineroar. Oh my god, I had it wrong all the time. One of the teams doesn't have Incineroar.
No,
yeah, so it's like
Incineroar. Wow.
So we have a Friend Guard team. We have the other one with basically double fake out. The question is, what comes out on top, right? What is gonna be the new balance of the game?
That is a good question. This tour will decide it all. Let's see what will be the new balance. Basculegion and Sneasler from the leads from Ogre, as Sela has the lead of Floette and Sneasler.
Yeah, despite it still saying zombie on the graphic, this is like actually Ogre playing. We're gonna fix that in a minute. But yeah, Sela, like we see double fake out on the field. Both players can actually go for the fake out here. They can either trade or decide to go for a move. The one thing is, with Basculegion being a ghost type, it actually is in a better position because it can immediately get some damage into this Floette. Floette doesn't have Draining Kiss on Sela's side, so it won't be able to recover. So that's already a really good way to get some chip damage now.
Yeah, exactly. And Sela does have the option to just double protect as well, trying to see what this Basculegion might lock into. But if you're doing that, that does give opportunity for Ogre to switch out to something else, as Sela is actually opting to switch out just as well, going to that Sinistra, not really threatened by anything like Last Respects, as the Floette is going for that Mega Evolution immediately. Let's see if we have a Protect coming out. Fairy Aura, of course, active. Protect from the Floette. That means that right now this Basculegion could very well just go for a water type move, lock itself into, as Sinistra is able to redirect them. We have the Wave Crash, but going into the Sinistra slot. Let's see how much this is doing. This is doing quite decent damage. A double up from Sneasler and Basculegion could perhaps KO it if it wasn't for that pesky Citrus Berry.
Yeah, the Sinistra is in a really good position right now because like this Basculegion is Choice Scarf locked into Wave Crash, which means you're gonna take a lot of recoil from this Wave Crash, and then you're also gonna take a lot of damage from a Dazzling Gleam, which the Splat is currently able to just go for, right? Sneaslers in both of these teams are opting to not run any Dark type moves, which we have seen a lot in Regulation H in Scarlet and Violet. But right here, right now, we're basically going for Protect, Fake Out, and just double stab moves that are close combat, which means the Sinistra is just sitting very comfy right there. Just be able to redirect it, maybe letting the Floette go for a Calm Mind.
Yeah, you know, go for a little Calm Mind, a little peace of mind to say King Gambit is the Pokemon of choice here to switch out for that Basculegion. Sinistra is going for that Rage Powder, meaning that any attack that the Sneasler might be doing will be redirected, as this King Gambit not really being affected. As Dark Claw is coming out, let's see, status, no status. It is just time for a little snack, and it's berry time, meaning Calm Mind comes up, and now we do have access to a Calm Mind and a +1 a Floette Mega is extremely scary to go up against because it is able to absolutely devastate anything in front of it. Even this King Gambit with quite decent bulk is able to, some King Gambits get killed by a single target Moonblast. So this is something that you need to consider as well. What are the spreads of the opponent here? What have they played? What is the position, the optimal thing to do right now?
Yeah, one thing we know right now already is that this Sinistra is not going to go down unless you actually double target it with both Pokemon, right? It can go for a Rage Spotter for free, which also means this Floette, which is actually just safe to go for any move it really wants to and can knock any Pokemon out. I think even with a Moonblast might be able to do a lot of damage to this King Gambit. And we see the Dark Cloud coming out, not doing anything. Not doing anything to the Sinistra, but keeping it alive. King Gambit still waiting to attack, but getting knocked out, but he plus one Moonblast. Straight back to its Pokeball without doing a single thing.
The power of Fairy Aura. This is what they mean, the young kids, when they say, I have aura. This is that aura. Where you're able to just straight up KO King Gambit, one of the biggest threats that we've had in Gen 9. And that is absolutely crazy to see it being KO'd in one hit by a neutral hit as well. Now, the Basque Legion will be able to move first, meaning that Sneasel will be able to Direct Claw this Floette. There has been no status yet with these Direct Claws. And you know, you've rolled it twice, roll it a third time.
Yeah, the question is, what do you go for here, right? Do you let the Sneasler Direct Claw your Sinistra and then tank the last respects? Do you know whether the last respects actually is going to take out this? Right? It's a really good question because the Basque Legion, can actually the Basque Legion goes first, can technically knock out the Sinistra. There we go, and then the Direct Claw goes into the field. So here we see the Incineroar switch coming in, putting an Intimidate down on both these Pokemon. Also activating the White Herb on the Sneasler, doubling its speed, which currently doesn't matter. And we see a very safe protect from this Floette, just making sure to not get doubled up by these two Pokemon.
Yeah, Direct Claw going to that slot, and this might just as well be a Wave Crash into that slot as well, but it is actually opting to be a Flip Turn into that Incineroar slot. Very nicely played there by Ogre, trying to make sure that whatever came in there, or at least if the Sinistra could have been potentially killed with that Flip Turn, so Direct Claw could have come in there. Now, bringing around his own Floette, and now this Floette just as well. You know, we've seen the same Calm Mind magic earlier. You can just try and do it again. But right now, Incineroar is live with Fake Out on the field.
Yeah, the only downside here that Ogre has is that Floette on Sela's side is already boosted and is already ready to go. So you're, depending on who's faster of the two, you're already going to take a lot of chip damage, which you don't want to take. And we know there's a Sneasler waiting in the back for Sela's side, so that Sneasler is going to do a lot of damage into this Floette whenever it comes out. And you need to make sure that you get rid of these Intimidates on your Sneasler to be even able to knock out Sela's Floette, right? So the question is, how do you position yourself to do enough damage and get back into this game?
Well, I can't answer that. I'm not playing final, so let's take a look what Ogre has decided here. We have the switch out from the Incineroar into that Sneasler right now, going with that Mega onto the Floette as well. Let's take a look. Another Fairy Aura. They're Fairy Aura maxing right now. Direct Claw coming into that Floette, barely missing out on the kill. Do we have a proc? It is the Paralyze, so that means that the Dazzling Gleam could very well kill this. It's just a Calm Mind. Oh my god, if there was just a Dazzling Gleam coming out, that Floette would have been gone. But now, you playing with the risk of being parried or not, and no para. Moonblast coming out. Let's take a look how the damage is dealing, and that is a lot of damage.
If this would have come out before the Calm Mind, this would have done so much. I mean, right now, we already know all the Pokemon on Ogre's side, right? There is no Intimidate. This Sneasler is ready to go. His Sneasler is full HP and is faster than this Floette. So this is gonna be a quest of positioning this Basque Legion in a way that it can knock out this Sneasler before your own Floette goes down.
Yeah, that's rough to do. Direct Claw just coming out, being able to kill the Floette at the very least, so that is down. Let's see if Sela is following suit with a Direct Claw of his own. It is the Direct Claw onto that Floette, and that will just pick up the kill. So, as you mentioned, it is now Sneasler and Basque Legion versus the remaining three, which is Incin, Sinistra, Sneasler. Incineroar is able to get a nice Intimidate onto both of them as the White Herb has been used, and that also knows just a little bit of the attack stat of that Basque Legion as well.
Yeah, getting rid of this Basque Legion is gonna be the way to go here, right? Because this Sneasler can knock out the Incineroar whenever it wants to, and as soon as the Incineroar is gone, nothing stops you from clicking Last Respect. That's just how you clean up all of these Pokemon. And Sinistcha and Sneasler both don't have enough damage to KO the Basque Legion. I mean, Sinistcha would, but you always just click Last Respect into that slot and it just goes down. So now here's the question: how do you position yourself in a way that this Basque Legion doesn't KO all of your Pokemon now?
See, I think a switch from Sela's side, from that Sneasler onto the Sinistcha to heal it up. The Sneasler has been intimidated. Could very well prove that the close combat does not KO that Incineroar and could then do a dark move into that Basque Legion slot. But Sela opting to go for that fake out into the Sneasler right now. And there we go with the last suspects here onto that Sneasler. We'll be able to KO that. And now I feel this is still a very rough position because the Sinistcha is quite low as well. And Ogre seemingly bringing this kind of back.
Yeah, despite losing almost 2 of your Pokemon right away, like despite immediately saying goodbye to your Kingambit, this Basque Legion is just showing how strong that Pokemon even is, right? Clicking Last Respects with at least 2 Pokemon down. Zeta's already locking in the forfeit right there before even, like, not even switching the Sinistcha back in, just immediately going for the game, for the surrender there. Because it is just such a strong Pokemon. There's nothing you can do to prevent this, right? Sinistcha doesn't have Protect, so there's no way you can make a call.
No.
Close Combat in Last Respects knocks out the Incineroar as well. So the game is just over from there. Like as soon as Basque Legion came back onto the field with the boosted Last Respect, you're just down for the count.
Yeah, exactly. So there were maybe some issues that Sela could call something like, for example, protect the Sneasler, switch out to Sinistcha, but then Sinistcha is low, then bring back the Incin, so to speak. Like there were positions to do, I still feel, but your opponent can call them and can punish them because we've seen like Direct Claw take away so many games in Reg Age, like being able to put something to sleep, paralysis, and that Sneasler is not going to click anything else, even like risking, for example, something like a close combat into a Sinistcha slot. I don't think you risk that even. Like you just, with that gameplay in mind, I do think you just try to double up and try to Direct Claw something. And we've seen that time and time again. Being able to prove itself very useful because it's able to just keep going for that necessary damage and for those status conditions that just win you the game. But that was only game 1. Ryo, adaptations, go. What do you think?
I don't know. This Basque Legion is really hard to take out. I mean, we didn't see a Kingambit on Zeta's side, which is might actually be the issue because with that Kingambit, this Basque Legion, we've seen it the game before, right? We've seen it the game before. The Kingambit does so much. But then again, we've also seen right now a very good example of why you don't want to bring Kingambit. Because Kingambit just gets knocked out by a Calm Mind boosted Moonblast, right? So it's like, what are you going to do? Where do you position these Pokemon to not get run over by a fish? That's it. You just need to get rid of the fish.
Yeah, let's see how the players approach it. As Sneasler, Basque Legion from Ogre and Sinistcha and Floette on the other side. And right now, Sinistcha in a really good position, being able to Trick Room, set up, get some speed control depending if Sela knows if the Floette is in fact slower. You're able to freely go for a Trick Room or even just go for a Matcha Gotcha to try and fish for those burns, because a nice switch in would still be that Kingambit. But now that Ogre has seen the power of Fairy Aura, I don't know if they brought the Kingambit again.
Yeah, the one thing you have to be really careful is the Sinistcha might look like it's actually ready to click Rage Powder here, but if you go for an early Last Respects and a Dark Claw, it might actually knock it out. Depending on the damage rolls here, but we see the Fake Out coming into this Floette, just preventing it from setting up. We see the Rage Powder coming out, just keep the Floette safe, but after that, nothing more is going to happen this turn, because this Basque Legion is just going to flip turn out, and it's going to bring in probably another Floette. And if that's the case, then now Ogre has made the play necessary to actually get both of these Floettes onto the field, ready to attack.
Yeah. And what's better than one Floette, you know? Like 2 Floettes, you know? That's the way we do it. We like a bouquet of them. We don't want one of them, we want multiple of them. And that is exactly what this finals is providing as well. It is actually going to be that Kingambit. Right now, we don't have any boost yet onto this Floette right now. So a Kowtow plus a Dark Claw could prove to be effective against the Sinistcha onto the right side here, trying to make sure that that is gone. But we know that this Sinistcha is quite bulky, but bulky enough to survive a Kowtow? I don't believe so.
Yeah, now with the King Gambit on the field, you also don't want to switch in your Incineroar to mitigate the damage of this Sneasler, right? Because if you do, then suddenly this King Gambit is looking even more threatening. Yeah, you can fake it out, but it can also protect. And very important, these King Gambits don't run Double Dark and Sword Stance like they used to. No, they run Iron Head specifically to take out Floette. And if you boost it, there's no way you're going to survive that.
Yeah, Sneasler is the one switching out. Is it going back into that Basculegion? Yes, it is. Basculegion back at it again as the Sinistcha is switching out as well. It is going to be the Sneasler instead. So we might see just a Protect and the Sneasler being in position here as a Counter Cleave could very well target into that Sneasler slot just for a little bit of damage, and that is exactly what's happening. And right now, this is still really good for Ogre because the Basculegion is the fastest Pokemon on the field, being able to flip turn something like the Sneasler. Sneasler is able to provide support with like at least one fake out onto the King Gambit, but that is easily like dealt with by just protecting.
Yeah, now by switching in this Basculegion right onto the Sneasler slot by predicting like a Protect or something like that, now with the Counter Cleave, you brought the Sneasler on Sela's side into a position where it has to take the Wave Crash or switch out. And what do you want to switch in? Right, you can switch in the Sinistcha for it, but Sinistcha goes down to like a simple Counter Cleave. And so, how do you keep your Pokemon safe? I think on Ogre's side now, it's basically just knock out all the supports and deal with the Floette later.
Yep, we have the switch out happening right now. Sinistcha coming back in for that Sneasler slot. With the Floette slot, getting that hospitality, trying to keep that Sneasler a little bit healthy. Wave Crash coming out. It is going into that Sinistcha slot. So perfect switch out for Sela here. Let's see. This Sneasler now able to go for a close combat into that left slot. And goodbye, King Gambit.
Yeah, King Gambit is not going to survive a 4-time super effective move. There's no Intimidates on the field, but this also makes Sneasler even more threatening because now we see the special defense and the defense drop activating the White Herb, giving Sneasler also the additional Unburden boost. So now this Sneasler is a threat because it outspeeds the Basculegion as well and can potentially do some damage with Dark Claw.
Yep, outspeeds everything. Able to redirect any with the Sinistcha as well. The opposing Sneasler is able to go for a fake out, but that is only for one turn. What do you do the turn after? Have some things to consider. Do we see a switch here from Ogre with a fake out onto the Sneasler? Well, with that switch out for a other Pokemon being able to deal with these two Pokemon on the field still, because Sneasler remains a very scary Pokemon to go up against, as Sinistcha is the absolute best support right now, being able to redirect anything and, you know, in general, like, good typing.
Yeah, by locking yourself into Wave Crash here, you also make sure that the Sinistcha can just go for potentially like a life deal. But we see no redirection, no fake out, no nothing, just going for the straight close combat into the Sneasler. The Wave Crash is coming out. Why is the Sneasler not faster than both of these Pokemon?
That's weird. It is unburdened.
It is unburdened. Wait, we've seen the close combat. Oh, that was the close combat from Sela.
Yeah, close combat was
Never
from
mind.
Selas, yeah.
Never mind. Okay, never mind. All good then. Okay, so that
checking.
was so confusing. That was so confusing.
Okay, Matcha Gotcha. Let's see if we gotcha with that burn. No burn, but a lot of healing. Oh wait, no, burns activate right now. So let's see, another heal. No burn on 1, no burn on 2. You're burn free for now.
Yeah, the Matcha Gotcha are a really good play here, right? Because you lock yourself into the Wave Crash, is what I was going to say earlier. You are basically free to do something with this Sinistcha. You can go for a Rage Powder, you can go for a Life Dew. Sela deciding to go for a close combat into the Sinistcha just to chip it down, because that also means that you can now Rage Powder and Dazzling Gleam for one of these Pokemon is going to go down, or at least has to protect itself.
Yeah. Or, you know, Calm Mind.
That's
Calm Mind again. You know, the possibilities there to have like to win the 1v1 versus the Floette in the back, of course. But that is just a risky play in general. Now, considering all of this, I can definitely see Sela do this.
The one thing you have to watch out for here is that you don't get a position where Basculegion can knock everything out while still having a Pokemon next to it. If you get the Basculegion into a position where it's basically sitting next to another Pokemon, or like in front of two Pokemon, you win the game automatically, right? But like this, it's really difficult because Ogre can still manage to knock out these supports, and then suddenly the last respect goes through the entire team, like we've seen before.
Yeah, powerful Dazzling Gleam coming out into that Floette and hasn't Mega Evolved yet, so its special defense isn't as high as it would like to be. And now that Floette just as well could threaten with a Dazzling Gleam of its own. And Dazzling Gleam plus Direct Claw could prove to be enough against a Sinistcha. But Sela still has a Pokemon in the back, which more than likely could be that Incineroar to try and drop any sort of stats onto that Sneasler, as long as it hasn't gone for close combat. So, Fairy Aura, their Aura maxing on the field yet again. Rage Powder from the Sinistcha, trying to redirect any sort of moves that could threaten this this Floette, as we have no proc. Dazzling Gleam from Ogre's Floette as the whoa, lift on 1 HP, excuse me there. Another Dazzling Gleam there, KOing that Sneasler, and now Basque Legion is still on the field versus the opposing Floette. And now I do think Ogre might be in good position yet again. Last Respects coming out. The opposing Floette is faster, in fact.
It is so incredibly important that this Sinistcha just survived on 1 HP. I mean, we don't know what's in the back. If in the back you have an Incineroar, then it doesn't. Then maybe it's a little bit. It's still fine, or a King Gambit. But like right now, this Sinistcha surviving on 1 HP is so incredibly important, because you can Rage Powder the Last Respects away and then go for a Dazzling. If you survive the single target Dazzling Gleam, you should be actually taking the game with one more hit. So this is actually really good for Sela if his Floette is trained in a way that it can survive the Dazzling.
Yeah, this might be a very important turn, deciding if you win a 150 or 100. Incineroar is the one switching in here right now, getting that Intimidate drop at the very least. Let's see, Floette going for that Protect. We have still the option of Wave Crashing and Last Respect into that Floette slot right now. We are trying to find a way to get through this. Moonblast actually target into that Incineroar in case of a switch in there, as it will do massive amount of damage.
But now you're finding yourself in a very terrible position once again, right? The Incineroar is too slow to actually get a tank or to outspeed the Floette, so you cannot really go for damage into it. And the Basque Legion is ready to just go for moves. Like you can go for any kind of move you want here. Just click the Last Respect into any target and you're good to go. Probably into the Floette, because Incineroar is gonna get cleaned up anyway by the slot next to it.
Yeah, that's true. So this position is really tough, but if anyone can do it, it's our captain, right?
I feel like since the Floette on Ogre's side is actually faster, this is really hard, because with the Moonblast you guarantee the knockout, and so no matter what happens no matter what you go for last turn, it's always over if you don't have King Gambit in the back. We see the Sinistcha coming back in, healing this Incineroar just a little bit, maybe to survive the Moonblast. If this actually works,
yeah,
if you survive this Moonblast,
shot,
you actually might win the game.
Yes, I can see this. So it'll all depend if this Incineroar is able to pull through right now. This Moonblast going into that Incineroar, is this Incineroar able to survive it? It is able to survive it, thanks to that Hospitality, Darkest Laren into that Basque Legion, and that is it, KO, beating the 2 Pokemon on the end. But now I think Sela might have misconstrued here what the position is here, right? Because no. Moonblast is the only thing that can KO the opposing Floette, and Flare Blitz from Incineroar could KO the Floette on Ogre's side, if I'm correct. What's the amount of HP again? I forgot. Yes. Okay. So, or Ogre has to go for a Dazzling Gleam crit on the Floette here. There's no other way for Ogre to win this. Otherwise, the Incineroar or the Floette on Sela's side will be able to pick it up.
Yeah, because we've seen the Floette take fake out damage in the very first turn of the game, and the second Dazzling Gleam was the damage it took, so it might actually survive this. Ooh. Yeah, it definitely survives. 23 HP on the board. Instant says goodbye, has done everything it needs to do. There is now a Dazzling Gleam or Moonblast coming out from Sela's side, taking out the Floette on Ogre's side, and we're going to Game 3.
Game 3, finals Game 3, that is what we love to see. My god, that is one of the greatest things to see. That is the clutch. That is, of course, the little teacup being able to support you, just that little health. And let's be real, Incineroar is VGC.
This is crazy. That was a 2 HP survival on these Pokemon, the 1 HP survival on the Sinistcha. The spreads being on the finest of margins in order to win this game right now. The 1 HP to 2 HP, like how closer do you want to have it go? Like this is This is insane. Both of these players are doing such an amazing job at positioning themselves. And like, I thought it was over. I thought it was over, but I'm not in finals. I don't see the lines of switching and Sinistcha onto the flat.
We're just casting it.
we're just here witnessing. This is their world, and we're here to witness what they're doing. I'm so excited what the final game is going to be like. This is crazy. These teams are so strong, and both of these players are piloting them so nicely.
Yeah, we're seeing like the level of play has been very good. Like in general, like it's been so good to see how these players have been trying to play around each other as well. And now we get a game 3, which is just levels upon levels of thinking of like, okay, so they did that play first, game 1, game 2 they did that, like what is that line of play? And game 3 is always the game where people sometimes make the craziest play or go shelter mode where they play super safe. But this is the difference of champions right now, because one of these players will be able to decide what will happen here, and that is exactly what we're doing. Let's go into game 3.
We can see Incineroar and Myra on Sela's side. This Incineroar is actually doing so much work right now, surviving all of these attacks. And we can see the Kingambit. So Kingambit once again, Ogre deciding this is the best Pokemon to bring here. My question is, this Basque Legion has been such a big problem. We've never seen Mouse Hold, right? We've never seen redirection. Did Sela leave Incineroar behind for Kingambit did?
I can see that actually. Like if that Kingambit is there, because the Basque Legion has been such a big issue as well, time and time again. So this time Sela must have considered something against his Basque Legion, because you would assume that in that position, like Sneasel is still threatening, but being able to just freely Sucker Punch or even Counter Cleave into a slot is something that you would love to be able to do against a Basque Legion, because, yeah, scary Pokemon. But now, with this Sinistcha and this Fluid on the field, we've seen this lead from Sela in the last round, as we've seen this lead as well from Ogre, as we have the switch out going into that Sneasel immediately from the Sinistcha.
Yeah, just switching into Sinistcha out, because you don't really want to lose your only weapon against Basque Legion right now, and you don't want to like switch into Incineroar if you have it either. So it's going for a safe protect on the flat here, still going for the Counter Cleave into the Sinistcha, just getting rid of this redirection. Also could telegraph that there is a Basque Legion waiting in the wings.
Yeah, I can definitely see that actually. That's a good point to make. I think that we're seeing the exact same plan being played out as game 2. So what Sela did last time, we saw Sinistcha switch out for switch in to heal that Sneasel up for just a little bit and being able to just close combat into that Kingambit slot. Let's see if Ogre has the chutzpah to switch out potentially to, for example, this Basque Legion if they are calling this exact same trade as well. But Floette is staying in, and it's going for its Mega.
Yeah, we've seen Floette earlier survive a Dark Claw, only just barely. So if this is like a Dark Claw and Sucker Punch play into the Floette, that would be devastating. But the Sneasel also has Fake Out ready. So Fake Out comes out. The question now is, does a single target Moonblast knock out the Kingambit, or are you willing to take an Iron Head from this Pokemon?
Yeah. We have a Calm Mind coming up right now, meaning that, yeah, you know, everything's threatened again, let's be real. Iron Head coming out, we know that this is massive amount of damage, and this is so little HP left. A Sucker Punch could potentially pick up the kill on Floette here. We do have Sinistcha being able to heal, so you're able to protect your Floette and heal up with the Sinistcha. But that is very telegraphed, and we are in game 3, and something like that might be called out by Ogre right now.
I am so scared for this Floette right now. I mean, Ogre has played himself into a very incredible position here. Both Pokemon full HP. You have a lot of threatening things on the field. If you switch into the Sinistcha, this could be very telegraphed, right? Do you want to go for a Counter Cleave with the Kingambit into that slot? And the question is like, what do you do if you lose? What do you do if you do actually lose this Sinistcha?
Yeah, we have a close combat from Sneasel going into the Sinistcha. Let's see if it is a double up on the Counter Cleave. Counter Cleave going into the Sinistcha. Is it enough to kill it? It is just enough to kill it. Sinistcha gone. One of the key Pokemon that Sela has been using this entire time. And now reduced to nothing. Now we still have the Sneasel being able to come in, threaten a Fake Out, and at least get some damage out. But with a Kingambit that is able to protect, with a Sneasel that is able to protect, there's a lot of things to consider here. What do you do with the Pokemon here that you have? If Sela did bring that Incineroar again, this might be a different blade, but it's Aerodactyl. What?
Wait, so now Floette, thanks to the signature, Floette has enough HP to actually survive things, right? So you can survive a Sucker Punch. The question is, and the Sneasler hasn't had anything procced yet. Like it's still slower than the Aerodactyl. So you potentially could go for a dual Wing Beat and a Moonblast, or even for a Tailwind and Dazzling Game if you think that's gonna get you any like progress here, and if you think the Sneasler is gonna switch out. But there's so many different plays to make thanks to this Aerodactyl.
If you're able to do a Wing Beat, KO the Sneasler, and then just Moonblast, right?
Yeah, that would definitely get a lot of progress here, because that would knock out both of these Pokemon. Unless this is a very physically bulky Sneasler. There's also been Sneaslers around to survive that. We see the Sneasler switching out. This could be it's the Basculegion. We see the Basculegion coming in, and now Sucker Punch from the Kingambit going into the Floette, doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, back to that exact 26 HP from earlier. Do a Wing Beat onto the Basculegion, doing decent damage, but not enough for a KO just yet. We do know that it's Scarf as well. I have like Moonblast coming out. Goodbye, Kingambit, as it is deleted again from the stage, as now the Basculegion has been buffed a little bit more in his damage, and now Incineroar is able to more easily come in. But with that, you are activating the White Herb, meaning that this Sneasler would be able to be faster than the Aerodactyl as well. So that is something to consider as well. So what do? I think a safe thing that you could do is potentially go for Tailwind. But if the Basculegion locks himself into Aqua Jet, while the Sneasler close combats the Aerodactyl, like double up on the Aerodactyl, the next Aqua Jet will definitely kill the Floette as well. So Tailwind not helping you that much. What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, I think this is a very tricky position, but we also know that the Sneasler on Sela side has still like a good chunk of HP. There are most likely is a Floette and Ogres, like for Ogre in the back, unless they decide to not bring their Mega. But Aerodactyl being on the field right now, I mean, you can always safely double protect, right? Aerodactyl is definitely a threat you have to deal with. But at the moment, going for a safe double protect, just taking your time, thinking through the turn, is probably the best way to go.
Yeah, double protect, trying to scout out, see what the Basculegion locks itself into. It is going for the last respects, actually. So if you're able to go for that Tailwind, and you're able to pick up a double KO, because that Basculegion has been damaged, that Sneasler has been damaged. This could very well be a double KO from this range.
Yeah, the one thing you want to do now is, do you actually switch in your Sneasler right now? Or do you leave Floette on the field, say, okay, Floette has done its job, I'm just going to click Dazzling Gleam and try to get a Tailwind with Aerodactyl, making sure that I actually get the Tailwind. Because if, like, you keep both of these Pokemon. Because if you lose Aerodactyl and the Basculegion still switches out, suddenly you just lose to Aqua Jet. So theoretically, you can now go for Tailwind and switch the Floette out to keep it safe, or you just say Floette has done its job, I'm gonna keep it in, and if my opponent doesn't respect it, I just get at least a Tailwind. Yeah,
last respects coming out onto that Floette. It will be able to kill just that. Let's see what the Aerodactyl is locking itself into. It is going for that Tailwind here, exactly as you mentioned. Now Sneasler is able to go for a move as well. It's going for the close combat, so it will activate that White Herb, putting that Aerodactyl on 1 HP. Now, as we mentioned earlier, that Basculegion is able to switch out and go, for example, into an Aqua Jet for later, something like that. The White Herb has activated. Let's see what Sela's last Pokemon is. Of course, that's Sneasler, and it will have to do some work together with his Aerodactyl to win this game still. These two Pokemon are quite good, exceptionally good, especially with a Floette in the back. But still, there is that Basculegion you have to consider, which is able to Aqua Jet the Aerodactyl, and I don't think Sneasler has anything to kill this Basculegion in one go.
Yeah, I think as long as you switch the Basculegion out, it's gonna be very hard for Sela to actually come back from, because Aqua Jet just does so much damage from this adaptability boosted Basculegion. The question is, does Ogre see the play? Does Ogre know that this is like maybe the thing you have to go for? We see the Rock Slide coming up. Sela, we've seen it already. Sela going for the Rock Slide flinches to win the game.
Oh, crit
on Sneasler.
How many Sneasler is still going for that close combat. Is that enough? It is not enough! Let's see if the Sneasler is going for a Diaclaw into the opposing. Yes, it is going for the Diaclaw. Is it enough? It is enough! Woo!
That means the close combat survival like 2 HP. What is happening with these HPs? What is up with these spreads? This is exactly why you're supposed to take the Pokemon from the range and actually build spreads yourself. This is the power. This is the power you can actually do. 1 and 4 HP on Sela's field. But is it enough to actually win this? Flat is still full HP, but I do not think it's gonna like to take one of those Dire Claws.
Yeah, that is the thing. Of course, Dire Claw is very well able, could potentially kill the Fluid or not. It is all dependent on these spreads. Aerodactyl with a dual wing beat will be able to clear out the opposing Sneasler. If you go for a Rock Slide, you are guaranteed that the Dire Claw and Rock Slide will kill the Fluids. But the Sneasler is then still on the field. What is your play? What is your line? What is the plan to become champion? What has Sela in his mind? What has Ogre in his mind that Sela might be clicking?
Ogre definitely in a favored position here. As long as there's no RNG happening, I think this might actually just be game if Floette survives the Dire Claw, but we'll see what's gonna happen. Floette is going for the Mega, just deciding, hey, I need to get some more stats. Am I really gonna do 5 damage without my Mega? I don't think so. So here, Floette's gonna come out. He's gonna go for the Mega. We see the dual wing with into Sneasler, just making sure that this Pokemon is down for the count.
This is the first time that we're gonna see Dire Claw go into that Floette. Let's see if it's doing enough onto this opposing Fluid. It is not enough to kill it, meaning that this Fluid can't go for the Dazzling. Para! Oh my god! What's happening? Okay, Fluid goes for the Dazzling and is able to kill.
Oh my god, the Para could have done it. The Para was the only dream. Like, he could have gotten any status condition. Maybe a sleep would have been nice as well, but Para coming out, maybe giving you a chance to win, but it does not matter. Floette is pulling through, winning the entire tournament right here for Ogre.
Well played. Absolutely well played. That was a high-stake match, to say the least. That was amazing. That was crazy to see. Suddenly see that Para, like, oh! Like the clutch survival into the Para, into not missing dual wing beat, into, oh my god. It's been a long day, but that was such a good finale for this all.
That was so clutch. The jump scare when you see the Para. You see the Para, you're like, oh my god, we're back. We're back to regulation age. What is happening?
So back. We're good.
that was crazy. Congratulations to Ogre for winning all of this. This was an amazing set. Well played by everybody. What a fantastic tournament. Oh my god, what a fantastic way to finish it out.
Yeah, that was quite a game, to say the least. Like, I had so much fun being able to cast that, being able to join everyone with this. Like, I hope everyone is feeling as elated as I was, because that just felt really good.
I can't believe that that was crazy. I can't believe it.
That was
to think that this like could have potentially not been streamed, and like that was beautiful. That was beautiful to see. You know, like it's just nice to be part of these moments and just seeing all of this. And it's crazy because this tournament wouldn't be possible without like all of the players joining and like doing such amazing things, like making plays left and right. Everybody building their teams in like 4 days, right? The game came out like 3 days. We had 4 days to find the meta, right? Like to build this team. It's crazy. And then like finding the pieces. Both of these players, by the way, found the perfect team to actually win. Yeah. Or to actually get so far.
Yeah, no. In the event of Alpensee versus the world wins, apparently. It is in finals, though, but... but very well played. There is nothing else to really be said. This game is exciting. I'm so happy that we're able to just have this game right now, because don't get me wrong, I love Reg-I, but the excitement from Champions, I cannot wait for June to be able to play some more of this, and I hope that everyone here as well enjoyed them as well. I do have a few people and things to shout out before we are ending the stream. First off, we need to thank our judges. So if you're still in chat, please just type thank you judges. That's it, because they've been doing the work. Thank you casters as well for being able to provide us these awesome matches as well. And thank you to the Alpensee members for playing. Thank you for the players to play. Thank you for Paul for keeping up the social media as well, posting like every match that was going live while playing the tournament. Ryo, thank you as well for helping to manage the stream. I want to do a big shout out to Ducky as well. Ducky has been an amazing host for the games, and the Funtime team has done a excellent job with all of the fun time segments as well. And I want to shout out Ducky in particular, because Ducky has absolutely been my rock today, helping me with everything, trying to set everything up.
Yeah, I would also like to thank all the people like that are working behind this. It's like we have a whole team. Shimon, first of all, thank you so much for hosting all of it. It's our social media team, our tournament staff, like all of the people that were involved in this. It's been amazing. It's been crazy that we've been able to do tournaments for like over a year now, and like the work that goes behind all of this is so amazing. And like as a co-captain of Alpensee, I'm really proud of everybody doing all of this. Like, and I'm just so happy to see the team and everything around it grow. And a big shout out to all of it, also social media once again. But also we cannot forget our sponsors, right? Most importantly, Code Centric for sponsoring this entire event, providing us with the prize pool, being able to give out something, for you guys, to all of you guys for playing, right? But also our other sponsors, like all the Alpensee sponsors. Thank you so much to all of you guys. It was just an amazing event, and it was just beautiful being part of it.
It was a very exciting and very good. And we've seen events left and right pop up a lot for Champions, and Champions is looking like it is going to make a big impact on VGC and just in general the community. So I'm very happy to see that we will be able to be part of one of the first experiences, and decently good streamer, if I might add.
I wanna say sorry for being so pixelated. I wish I wasn't pixelated in the final, but hey, I'm just Minecrafting over here. But anyway, thank you so much everybody for watching. I think this was an amazing time. I hope we got to showcase a lot of like it's champions. No regulation. We're not. Sorry, I'm Scarlet Violet.
Scarlet Violet code.
Thank you so much for hanging out, everybody. We really appreciate it. There's some people that were here since the beginning, and yeah, I hope we got to show you some really good matches, some really nice Pokemon, and that's all I have to say.
Yep. And with that, we will be going out. Thank you very much for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye.